UAB is situated in the heart of Birmingham and home to Alabama's largest hospital. The area is very diverse. In fact, the 2010 census characterizes Birmingham with a very high population of both African Americans, Hispanic, and Latino populations. With Birmingham becoming more and more diverse each day, it's important for UAB to ensure that those receiving education through their university value their culture and community in the area. UAB's core curriculum has two purposes. The academic curriculum provides a foundation for the academic work that students receive for their specific major. Also, the core curriculum should expose the learner to a wide range of knowledge, ideas, and perspectives that reach beyond their specific major. Together, these two purposes enable the graduates to be very well-rounded in their knowledge base. The School of Education at UAB has created the 2014 Conceptual Framework, which guides instruction and ensures that UAB holds their learners to a very high standard. When exiting the programs at UAB, the learner will be well prepared in contributing to our society. Before we begin to talk about the Conceptual Framework, we should mention the mission of UAB. UAB has a mission to be a research university and academic health center that discovers, teaches, and applies knowledge for the intellectual, cultural, social, and economic benefit of Birmingham. UAB's vision for the School of Education is to optimize human potential. It was created to emphasize our commitment to fully developing the potential of P through 12 students by preparing teachers going through our program. They've also created a new mission statement, which is creating knowledge and supporting education and health professionals to serve in a diverse world. In the Conceptual Framework, you will read that UAB recognizes the importance of creating new knowledge through research. It will impact student learning and reach the diverse populations that continue to grow throughout Birmingham and the rest of Alabama. It's really important for you to know a little about the School of Education and what it entails. Professional education programs at UAB are housed in the School of Education. There are two academic departments: curriculum instruction, which is the home of the teacher education programs such as ESL, early childhood, and elementary education. The other academic department is human studies. The School of Education also provides support to faculty and the rest of the UAB community. If you need advisement or need to talk to someone about your student records, you should visit the Office of Student Services. If you are looking for field experience or the internship placement, you should visit the Office of Clinical Experiences. The Conceptual Framework logo incorporates the new vision, mission, and value statements, as well as the 4 Conceptual Framework themes for all programs. UAB's School of Education has 3 values. They are to treat everyone with respect, respond promptly and appropriately to groups, and be innovative in our approaches to challenges. There are 4 themes represented in this logo. These relate to preparing our teachers for diverse communities, to make sure that we honor the diversity in our area. These 4 themes ensure that all programs are: number 1, learner-centered, which you'll see in the middle of the logo. That means we prepare our candidates to work with early childhood, high school, and also adult learners. They're developmental in that they support professional growth and differentiation depending on your focus. They're inquiry-focused, which means that all programs engage the learners through inquiry and active reflection. And finally, all programs are standards-based, which means the programs are based on the professional standards and candidates base their practice on those standards. Last year, a new assessment system based on the Interstate Teacher Assessment and Support Consortium called InTask Model Core Teaching Standards were implemented for teaching field programs. There are 10 InTask core standards, and they are grouped into 4 areas. Area 1 is the learner and learning, Area 2 is content knowledge, Area 3 is instructional practice, and Area 4 is professional responsibility. Since the standards can be very broad, the Council of Chief State School Officers identified 21 outcomes to go along with the standards. Each candidate will be assessed on each outcome throughout their entire time in the program.
Remember, with only 10 standards and 21 outcomes, sometimes one standard will have many outcomes. For instance, Standard 3 about learning environments has two different outcomes. The teacher must collaborate with others to build a positive learning climate, and also the teacher manages the learning environment to engage learners actively.
All outcomes are assessed within your coursework and clinical experiences. There are several key assessments tied to these outcomes.
All candidates must reach target level proficiency on all in-task learning outcomes before they exit the program. Rubrics have been made for each degree level. The 4 levels are as follows. Unacceptable means work is unsatisfactory. You will have 2 attempts to increase your proficiency. Basic means you met the outcome at emerging level of proficiency. Proficient is target. That means you met the outcome and you're expected to exit. And exceptional, that means you exceeded proficiency for the degree level.
If you do not pass a course of field-embedded key assessments after 2 attempts, you are not allowed to progress in your program. This ensures that candidates have met all in-task learning outcomes when they exit the program and are prepared when they leave UAB.
Using this framework definitely informs me of the expectations UAB has for me as a candidate in my degree program. It also is applicable to me outside of the UAB because as an educator, I'm also trying to increase my knowledge base on understanding the learners in my classroom and the diverse backgrounds they come to school with. Also, I'm always trying to improve my content knowledge and instructional practice by differentiating and implementing many strategies to help my students. Also, professional responsibility is very important to me in my career, and the standards implemented at UAB help guide me in my own understanding of ethics and professional responsibility.
You can find the rubric for your specific degree level in the Conceptual Framework Handbook. If you are in the instructional support and teacher leader programs, you have separate outcomes aligned with state and national standards. You can find more information about those specific outcomes by looking at the 2014 Conceptual Framework Handbook.
In operating programs at UAB, the faculty supports 8 belief statements that form the operation of their programs.
I hope that this video has increased your knowledge about UAB School of Education's Conceptual Framework for undergraduate and graduate programs. If you have questions, remember to always refer back to the framework for guidance.